Hey everyone, this is Debbie, and I want to talk to you today about the early signs of dementia. As you know, my husband has semantic dementia. It's frontal temporal lobe. With frontal temporal lobe dementia, there are three variants. Well, there are three variants when they first started talking about frontal temporal lobe dementia, and I think there's only two now, but when I was studying in the very beginning with Larry's dementia, there were three. So the three were the mutism, where they're not able to speak at all, the semantic dementia variant, which is the one that Larry has, and that's the one where they lose the meaning and understanding of words. And then there's the other one, which is more of the behavioral variant, which is on the right side of the brain, or affects the right side of the brain. And when that happens, there's a lot of behavioral issues. The patient can become violent, anxious, just real super frustrated. And right now, Larry has the semantic dementia, which is mainly for him on the left side of his brain when he was first diagnosed in 2017. So just going to give you a little overview here. And then just recently, when he had a second MRI last year, the dementia had progressed over to the right side of his brain. So his behavioral issues they're not violent. It mainly gets really anxious. And I read in a PubMed article where the semantic variant has characteristics of the spectrum of autism, and I thought that was very fascinating. But anyway, what I wanted to talk to you tonight about was the signs of early onset dementia. And so with Larry, and everybody's different. Dementia is different in every person because we're all wired differently in our brain and in our body. So everybody has a different way of showing signs of dementia. But with Larry, one of the things I noticed between 2014, 2017, when we moved here to Dallas from Colorado, was that he would ask me when we were driving, what's the best way to get to this location, or what's the best lane to get in as we're driving? What's the best exit to take? It was always, what's the best thing to do here? Because what he would do is he would second guess himself. And so with the frontal temporal lobe, he began, well, it was really attacking his frontal temporal lobe. So this is where your decision making, judgment, reasoning, even sense of humor, lies. And so that was some of the first things to go for him. And so anyway, that was really heartbreaking because I began noticing, and I worked as a wellness director for a senior living center, and I was around people who had dementia. And so I knew what they were going through, and I knew the different signs and characteristics and behaviors. And so Larry at the time was studying computer science in an online program. And I noticed when he was in a critical thinking class, he was getting really anxious and frustrated that he couldn't understand, one of the assignments. And I tried to help him, and he got so frustrated, he just couldn't do it anymore. And so when I began seeing these different signs, of him asking those types of questions and saying that he was having some issues at work and not understanding and having to drive back and forth from San Antonio to Houston to Austin as an inventory person, he was having a really difficult time. So they changed his position, and he just started working at a desk and didn't travel anymore. And so that was like in 2015, 2016, around that time. And so what happened was I went ahead, and because I saw the signs, I went ahead and I made an appointment with a psychiatrist who dealt with dementia and who would do an MRI of his brain. So it was right across the street from Presbyterian Hospital here in Dallas, Texas. And so I took him over there, and they did a few little tests and everything, and they were just great. And so, um, I had to do that by myself, and so, um, and I had to look it up by myself. So I know that as a caregiver, any of you who are caregivers, and you're seeing this, and you get really frustrated, you don't know what to do, and it's real frustrating for you. um, just start looking things up, start reading things, look at the Alzheimer's Association, look at different neurologists in your city where you can get some advice, or get involved in a support group. There's so much more now with Alzheimer's Association, where they have different support groups in town and in your town. And I would look that up. I would look it up, like watch YouTube videos like this one, like I'm making, and just learn all you can about dementia. I am 100% committed to helping my husband because, one, I love him. He's my best friend. Because we're all given an assignment in life, and one of the assignments in this season of my life is to take care of my husband who has dementia. That's very important to me, and I'm going to do all I can to help him have a good life while he has dementia and while he's here these last years. And we have a lot of joy, a lot of laughter, and that's really important. But so the early signs were him, just asking a lot of questions, second guessing himself. He didn't have the signs where you see with Alzheimer's patients, where he would put his keys in the refrigerator or put the milk in the cabinet. I mean, I've multitasked before so much, and I was so busy and I was so preoccupied that I tried to, do that too. So, but I never put keys in the refrigerator, but I did try to put milk in the cabinet, and that was not a good idea. But anyway, I caught myself really quickly. But anyway, that's just because I'm preoccupied with everything. But I will tell you, those are the things that you just need to watch out for, and listen to what they're saying, listen to the conversation and stuff. And especially if they have a familial history of dementia or Alzheimer's, it's really important that you really listen, and take note and catch it early if you can. If you can't, that's okay too, because that happens, because we don't always know the signs. But when we make videos like this, it really does help a lot of people, and that's my goal right now, is to help a lot of people and to encourage you that everything's going to be all right. Another thing is that make sure you have all your end of life paperwork up to date. Like your power of attorney, durable power of attorney, medical power of attorney. Make sure that you have your paperwork for your living will, living trust. Make sure you have all those things. You keep them in a folder, you label it, and make sure that you give one to your doctors. Okay, so that's really, really super important to have. And that way you don't have to worry about anything. Make sure you have your end of life, whether it's going to be cremation, whether it's going to be burial. Make sure you have all your end of life planning done, because that's the last thing that you want to have to worry about. Okay, and what else? There's another thing I was going to tell you about. Let me think about it. Just make sure that you take care of you. Make sure that your self-care is important. Okay, so don't always be giving, and not be taking some back and say, hey, I'm going to go away for an hour. She's going to be here with you, or he's going to be here with you, and you're going to be okay. Take some time for you, whether it's reading a book, whether it's taking a class online, sitting down and writing encouraging notes to others, or writing a blog. But I guarantee you, another thing that's really going to help you is if you journal. You need to journal. Okay, it's so important. I journal everything in here. Everything's in here, because it helps me. My prayers are in here, and I even have like the names of God, and prayers and stuff, and things that I've, made copies of. There was one thing I was going to show you that I think it's really important, and it's this. Okay. If you go to Microsoft Word, okay, and just as a piece of paper, make one of these. Okay. So what it is it says this person has FTLD, semantic dementia, may say inappropriate things. Thank you for your kindness. Okay. So these things are very important to have. So when you're going out to eat, or when you're going to the store and you're talking to whomever it is on, whether it's a server, whether it's someone on the other side of a desk or whatever, and then your significant other, begins to say things, and sometimes they can be inappropriate. And if you let them talk too long, then they can become inappropriate. But let them talk. Let them say what they want to say, and don't chide them, don't get on to them, just let them be who they are. Okay, all you have to do is say, hey, I just wanted to show this to you. And I will tell you what, we come across the nicest and the kindest people. When I show them this, it's like they are so kind and they're so wonderful, and it's really, really helpful. I mean, that's really helpful. But I will tell you this, okay? Dementia, any dementia, is not age related. Dementia can happen at any time, at any age, okay? What is age related is cognitive decline. That is age related. That is not dementia. But dementia is not age related. So just to let you know that it can happen at any time. It happened to Michael J. Fox at a very, very young age. So with my husband, it happened at around 55. But anyway, this is all I wanted to show you tonight, and we'll go over the next videos. We'll talk about going to the dentist or going to the doctor, what to look for, going to the bathroom in public. What do you need to look for there? Okay, so we'll talk about those in other videos. I just wanted to stop by tonight and talk to you about the signs. Okay, if you have any questions, any comments, I'm more than happy to answer. And I hope you have a wonderful night, and take care of yourselves. Take care of you. Take care of each other, and be kind to each other. Take care. Bye now.